Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. Thank you all for joining us. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Clark. Good morning, Debo. Good morning, Jermaine.
Good
How's
morning, sir.
everybody? You know what? You don't know a little bit of when I first came on the air. We used to play that up to 3 minutes, right? Mr. Jones be blowing up the phone. He said, "Why you playing that music so he be blowing up the phone, man?" So good morning to everybody. Let me do this real quickly. Here is our Black History book of the day. Black History Month book of the day. Roots, the saga of an American family. Y'all probably even know this was a book because everybody saw the TV series, which was land breaking. And boy, what I did not know, I was away. I was in college. People actually went out riding when Roots came on. There were some folks who felt strongly about it. My mama has
Wait,
never
rioting because they were upset?
upset about what they saw in terms of slavery.
Yeah.
My mama is from her daddy is from Henning, Tennessee.
From where?
Henning, Tennessee. Right
Henning?
yeah, right next door to Ripley,
Okay.
where my mother was born, my grandmother was born, and my
Well, why is Alex Haley from Henning?
yes,
Okay.
and my uncle Cliff would talk about knowing the Haley family,
Oh, really?
right? Back so
Oh, that's cool.
so people know.
How many? I remember when that book came out, though. It was like 500 pages. Let me see. This book, I remember, because after we saw the movie, then everybody was like, oh, I want to go read the book. 688 pages.
Yeah. And then he got sued for plagiarism for part
He
of the
did.
book.
He did.
But I don't know how any historian is not going to, and I don't know if they purposely plagiarize, but how you're going to use other folks. Everybody's using other folks' stuff. So,
But he didn't lose that case, I don't believe.
no, I don't know if he settled.
Yes.
And let me say this about Alex Haley, and I'll be featuring this book a little bit later as we get closer to Savior's Day later in the month. All the money that was raised, because he co-wrote the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Right.
All the money that went from that he gave to Betty Shabazz. So Betty Shabazz owned the rights to that, where she in perpetuity.
I didn't realize that.
Right, where he gave her the rights to that. And there were some people who had some strong feelings about Alex Haley, but again, it's Roots.
Strong feelings based on what?
Some people thought he
'Cause
was a
that's the first time I heard
collaborator and things like, but
He
that
was a
was
what?
collaborator. That was the Deep Righteous Brothers and Sisters. That wasn't
Oh, okay.
part of it. So hold on. I just got a message from Dr. Myers. Let's see. Alex Haley went to Alcorn. Who didn't go to Alcorn?
It's Alcorn.
It's Alcorn.
And in fact, when we went to go see Drumline on what was that? Friday night?
Mhm.
Thursday night. After everything was over, we ended up meeting the girls that were the dancers, and one of them had gone to Alcorn. So it was a whole bunch of posts on her page. So yeah, everybody went to Alcorn.
And again, we had a chance to go to the Adaba Ball. Thank
did.
you for inviting us.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate
Very
it.
nice affair.
The band was the bomb.
Band was outstanding. That was we were a little close to the speakers though. We were a little close, but so all the listeners out there who come up
It was a
and
lot of
always
people.
introduce themselves. Thank you.
I met a young sister, Stephanie. I meant to say her name this morning. I'll say it
Who was sitting
tomorrow.
behind us? Was that the one?
Frida Webb.
No, Frida was in front. She was.
Oh, I
No,
saw her
Frida
when I
was.
turned- Yeah,
No,
Frida.
but the woman, she was right in back of us, right there. Thin, brown skinned woman.
I can see her face. I
Right,
can't
she
think of
was
her
there.
name. Yeah.
And then the sister in
The wheelchair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She had every event.
Get around more than people with a car.
I know. So it turned out we didn't make the UNCS masquerade ball, but it was worth the sacrifice.
I hope you know you on camera.
Oh, I forgot.
You're so special.
Let me.
man.
What an awful Super Bowl yesterday. It was over.
The
before it
game was
even,
bad?
The game was bad. I mean, it was just like it was obvious. But I did watch Bad Bunny.
Okay.
And if you've ever gone to Puerto Rico, what he did. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Ask any Puerto Rican. That's why I say what was it in the movie? A dude said that, and I'm excuse my use of this word, but I'm only quoting. He said that they were responding. He said, "Well, Puerto Ricans and niggas with straight hair. If you ever been to Puerto Rico, there's a barber shop on every corner." And I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you watched
Yeah,
it.
there was. I saw.
So
I
that barber
watched it.
shop,
Yeah, it was a barber
that
shop.
barber shop, which
Yeah.
is like ubiquitous when you go to Puerto Rico.
Many of their themes
Yeah.
he brought to life.
Barber shop, Church's Chicken, dogs, and chickens.
Yeah.
Dogs and chickens have free reign on that island.
And the sugar cane.
And the sugar cane.
The use of that. I mean, I thought it was very creative in the way they pulled all these different, elements in, and people were right. You did need to know something about the culture to get all of the nuance and all of the.
I do agree. I did try to go in. I would have loved to know what the lyrics were actually saying, because it was a little disconcerting if you didn't speak Spanish.
Well, one thing I did see is that a lot of people were on social media watching, or even pregame or pre-halftime show, and so there was like a community of people educating folks. Okay, this is what the album is about.
Right.
This is what the lyrics are saying, and I thought that part was really cool. Was that there was a education effort.
And then when he went down every country.
Oh yeah.
In the Western Hemisphere. Yep. That was impressive. And then they did all the flags. Yeah, dude. So I did kind of tune over to YouTube.
To Kid Rock?
Yeah. And they're singing, and it's like
that's the show Jermaine was watching.
And then somebody said I didn't realize that Kid Rock did a song with lyrics about underage girls.
Yeah. I mean, that's what like Kid Rock, because I mean, and I was watching that, and I was like, first of all, for them to try to picture this thing as it's being godly was just crazy. This mic is just not working.
Look at God.
I think he said God trying to keep you from talking, Jermaine. What you said? That ain't it. God wants you to speak.
God wants me to say what I need to say.
Just said that ain't it. God want to hear from me. Sound like somebody drunk uncle.
But then I was watching Turning Point, and they say halftime show, just to peek in and see.
Right, everybody. I think they said they had a total of about 6 million viewers.
Yeah, I think I made the 6 million. But Kid Rock's performance, I mean, he was lip syncing the whole time.
Yeah, at some point he stopped.
Yeah, because it wasn't synced up right.
Yeah, they said he stopped singing.
And then it was just boring. It was just dry and boring. So I just tuned in.
Well, usually when you do stuff out of hate and anger, it usually is. Yeah.
So I really tuned in just to see him fail. If I'm gonna tell the truth, I wanted to see them fail, and they did. They didn't disappoint me at all. It was one of the driest stove toppings I've ever had.
Was Lee Greenwood there?
I'm
proud to be an American.
I didn't.
Well, at least I know I'm free.
No. They said that the ladies' performance actually ended up being the best one.
But it was so dry, man. It was just, and then they kept panning over the crowd just to show the people. And I mean, they timing was so off in the crowd, man. It looked like they had a DJ playing one sound in the crowd and the artist was performing because they claps was off.
Well, if you look at just the, I don't know if you. What was I watching? The Grammys.
Yeah.
And it wasn't totally synced because they do this delay.
Yeah.
And so you could see what people were singing.
Right.
And it looks like just a little off. You can
off
get that.
Hair.
Right. Because they were just in case somebody dropped something.
Yeah. Or you had to bleep it.
No. Because the first artist, the guy that had opened up.
Were we back on Turning Point now?
Yeah, Turning Point. This guy here. So this the guy that had opened up. I forgot his name. I mean, you might know him.
Why would I know? Because you know everything white. You might know. Yeah, I'm the content expert on anything white. Ask me anything white.
But what I was trying to say was, just because they mention God in their song or mention Jesus in their song, it don't mean that this is a Christian event, because right after this guy mentioned God, he was talking about his 12 gauge pump and shooting somebody and kicking A. So
well, I think it is, and let's kind of segue, and I'm glad Michelle kind of hung around, because this segue into this is not obviously Hispanic Heritage Month. That's usually September, October, but it was Black History Month, and I'm getting back to Bad Bunny. And when you go to, if you ever been to Puerto Rico, the first thing they're gonna come up to Michelle and speak Michelle in Spanish. They assume Michelle is Puerto Rican. They assume I'm Puerto Rican, right? Because it's a unique island when you look at just how diverse the people are, right? Because I think there's European, indigenous, African. They said even Arab. So they're a very unique combination of folks. And even if you ever been to the island, it is like, we went to a place called it's called a biometric, bioluminescence, where you go in and you touch the water, it turns blue. So you want to do it at night. Now I can tell you kayak out. That was a mistake. Rhonda and I have never kayaked together. It was obvious they had to tow us out, and then they had to tow us back in because we running all up on the shore. And then we went to a place called Ponce. Ponce, I don't know what side of the island that would be on, but you go to Ponce. In order to get to Ponce from San Juan, you drive through a desert. It's like mountains and desert. This island is so, what we say, geographically diverse in terms of what it looks like. It's beautiful. And here's the thing, on Sunday is beach day.
Okay. What
People
does it
at
mean?
The beach.
Everybody, that's what you do.
As the beach, it is packed.
Okay.
It is packed, but it's the warmest water I've ever been in my whole life. That water felt like it was 70-something degrees. I normally don't get water. But anyway, so what I'm saying is that the fact that, and here's the other thing, Nicki Minaj is not a U.S. citizen.
No.
Bad Bunny is.
But ain't she a citizen now?
No.
No.
Stop playing. It wasn't even a real car.
Real car.
It wasn't a real car.
At all?
No. He didn't give her a real car.
So, okay, so all of that, and then he had given
no.
the White House and talked
No,
about
she didn't get a
Michael
Real
Hill
car.
and all of them.
No.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
And let me and Lindsey Vonn. Didn't Lindsey Vonn go with Tiger Woods when they dated for a while? Man, I got to give her.
She ain't had no
credit.
business out there though.
Oh, did you see her leg?
Yeah, she ain't had no business out there.
Yeah, but did you when they saw her there and her leg is bent like
She
this?
had no business
She
out
had
there.
no business. But I give her credit for
what? For being stupid?
well,
don't put yourself in harm's way like that. You talking about messing up? Yeah, you messing up
Oh,
your
and she
whole
broke
career.
her leg, and to the point that they had to bring in orthopedic surgery to reset the bone. That's how bad that break was.
Yeah, but she had a torn ACL prior to her.
Yeah, people still trying to figure out how she thought she was going to be able to do that with a
and
torn
who
ACL.
cleared her? Why would they have cleared her?
Why would you do that?
You said when you got money, that's what happened.
Well,
or when you greedy and people that banking on her being in, sponsors and all of these kinds of people, but she had no business even being in.
Did you see the opening ceremony?
No.
Who
did they boo?
JD Vance.
Oh my God!
Really?
But man, I'm telling you, every time you watch these opening ceremonies, they just get better and better.
I think that's why Trump didn't want to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
And that's exactly.
He didn't want to go.
They said Trump didn't want to go to the Super Bowl because
oh, they know they was gonna boo him. Oh yeah, he was gonna get booed.
Well, after that stunt he pulled this
got booed at the
weekend,
Army
I mean,
Navy game.
Right.
yeah, after that stunt he pulled with the Obamas, he ain't had no choice.
Okay, a great segue. But let me. You would have loved this because you're fashion. You know, Ralph Lauren does the Americans, right?
Yeah.
They had on the coldest stadium coats. They had on like stadium coats. Oh my God.
Okay, I'm going to pull it up right now.
Oh, Ralph, but the fins. The feds came in with these long bubble coats, and it looked like you could light. They were blue. Oh, they were so cold. It was some of those outfits were just like, oh, and then just the music. It was good. So as Michelle pulls that up because she's a fashionista, Friday we began to talk about. Now you had to be living under a rock if you didn't know the racist post that the White House put out. Donald Trump put out depicting the Obamas as monkeys, as primates. And of course, people, and we started talking about it on Friday. But I think it was Saturday. Rhonda said it triggered her.
What, say it again?
It triggered her. It triggered. And I was like, oh. She was in grade school. She was the only Black kid in her class. And she said that she had fake sick as much as she could that week so she wouldn't have to go to school because they were talking about primates. She's the only Black kid in the class, and she thought they were going to call her monkey. I just doubled over. I was like, so, we respond to these things sometimes based on, hey, it's my job. I have a responsibility. I'm a commentator. I'm a talk show host. But people don't realize how hurtful some of these things are. And obviously, they don't care.
Because Caroline Levitt's response?
Fake outrage.
Yeah, fake outrage. It's just basically, this is just humor. And I'm just like, so to me, the thing I kept walking away with is these people know they're lying when they say it. They know the historical pain and historical nonsense that goes with these characterizations of Black people as animals and primates. But you are so dyed in the wool that you are standing up saying things that you know not to be true. And Caroline just announced she's pregnant. You would never have your kids go to school and do stuff like this. You just wouldn't.
I wish
some people would, but most of these people, like, they know better. And because of political theater nonsense, whatever this is, you go ahead and go along, but they know better. Even though this guy is wielding this kind of power, if you had saw some of these people 3 years ago, they would have never excused that. And in any other situation, if somebody at work had put out a meme like that, they wouldn't have a job this morning. They wouldn't have a job this morning. We've seen people get fired for less. They would not. So I guess I'm just trying to get past the fact that you know better and you do it anyway.
Because it's purposeful and you're appealing to your base. So I went in to see what the response was. I think there were a couple of letters. I think the Church of God in Christ did a letter.
Did you see Tim Scott?
Yeah, I'm going to get to Timmy.
Okay, all right.
Okay, but I want you to hear what Timmy said.
Okay. All right, now where you going?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is based on indefensible Black Trump allies grapple with the fallout from the racist video of Obama. And this is taken from ABC News. Several Black conservatives with ties to President Donald Trump's administration issued rare public rebukes after a video shared on the president's social media platform late Thursday night included a racist animation depicting former President Barack Obama, former First Lady Michelle Obama with the bodies of apes. The video was later now deleted. It was up for 12 hours.
Right.
Okay. NAACP President Derek Johnson said in a statement Friday the video was blatantly racist, disgusting, and utterly despicable. I want y'all to think about that. I'm sure you have. He did this during Black History Month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the episode which unfolded during Black History Month exposed fault lines within the Trump-aligned Black conservatism, where some expressed deep disappointment that the video was shared at all, while others defended the president and framed the controversy as an unfortunate but human error. Let me say this, because you all saying that I'm an expert on all things white. If you call a white person racist, It's like calling a white person nigger. Okay? Because even people in the Klan don't think they're racist.
Right.
Right? But they are. Yeah. And so this is where I hear where then you have people come out and direct. So among critics with the Black Conservative Federation, a Trump-aligned group that has maintained close ties to President, issued a rare critical statement. Okay, now listen to their statement. Depicting black public in a dehumanizing manner, particularly imagery historically used to demean Black Americans, is unacceptable, offensive, and indefensible. The group said in a statement before also expressing its continued backing for Trump's policies. Trump told reporters he didn't see the entire video before it was shared on his social media platform late Thursday night and suggested he won't apologize for it. Surprise, surprise. I guess during the end of it, there was some kind of picture people don't like. I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it.
And so I'm so ignorant. I put up a post that I haven't fully viewed. Okay.
Okay.
We all stupid.
Okay. All right. So when we get back, I want to get to the response, and it's kind of ironic because I have a guest coming in Wednesday, and so I'll get a chance to ask him, does he still support Donald Trump? You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Let me finish this up, and then callers, I'm going to come to you. But it seems like when you have black folks who support Donald Trump, one thing, and you hear this, he doesn't have a racist bone in his body. No, not a racist bone. Every bone in his body is racist. It is obvious this man is racist. Call a racist a racist. He's a white supremacist, and he's racist. There ain't no getting around it. And even when you kind of get him, they say, well, we support him for his policies. What policies have benefited black folks that Donald Trump has trumpeted? He's taken away anything that has any reference to, did you ever doing down to Medgar Everett's house? Yeah, because that's a national park.
Yeah.
Okay. They're taking any reference.
Oh, that's right.
From his assassination.
Yes.
Well, like I said Friday, that's the reason why
that's
people
the whole
visited.
Purpose of it.
Right.
That's the whole purpose of it.
Right. So this idea that you're able to.
So what, you going to take the mattresses down from the wall? Because if you've ever gone to his house, which I've gone, the mattresses are at the wall from the numerous assassination attempts. And his family literally slept on the floor.
Right.
Because you couldn't sleep in your bed.
Right. And you're doing it during Black History Month. So all you folks out there who, and I know George and others call in, I don't understand it. I don't either. I know Rhonda gets frustrated. She don't understand it. Sometimes you can't understand.
But make the point about Tim Scott that you were going
to. Oh, so Timmy, he says, and I think I can quote him. He said, this is the most racist thing that's come out of the White House.
And before he said that, no Republican had come out against what Trump had said.
None.
Not one. So once the only black senator.
Then Lawler comes out.
Yeah, then people want to come out.
Lawler has been a critic of Trump.
Right. But you pointed out something to me during the break about how he said what he said, what Tim said.
Right. And I guess they're saying that, well, the White House said we like to deal with these things privately. It was publicly done.
But make that point, though, about that he didn't say Trump said it was racist.
Right.
He conveniently said the White House. So it's not attributed to any one person
in the White House,
even though it's on Trump's
account. That's still
posted it.
That's still damning, because you're saying that, and then he says this is the most racist thing, which is a comparison, which means that other racist things have come out of the White House. I'm just doing my little English there.
Yeah, no,
is that correct?
I mean, yeah, I think, but then on the flip side, because you are giving him credit that you acknowledge that other racist things have happened, but I'm like, bruh, you see all of this stuff happening, and this is now when you want to speak up, as they are dismantling Black history exhibits, making it basically illegal to say the word Black in a public institution, and now you want to speak up now. Well, like, it makes no sense to me.
It makes sense because this was just so egregious. How could you not say anything?
Seriously?
Yeah.
As you retell history, as you literally rip down historical information that we all know to be true, and you make it so that, as I mentioned earlier, students at FAMU can't figure out how to get a Black History Month flyer approved because the Board of Regents is so scared because they use the word Black in the title. And
didn't they put in a Trump supporter?
Yes, they did.
She's president?
Yes, of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Tim, I'm not trying to be funny, but you coming out about a damn cartoon characterization. All of the things that are happening in real time, real life, that are messing Black folks up financially, in terms of their First Amendment right to freedom of speech, and to the right to assemble. Student UWM just announced all of they specialized student programming in terms of Black Student Union, this group now being combined into one thing. You won't be using those terms anymore in that way. I'm just like, but you spoke out about this, given everything else that's going on. This is what you felt was safe enough to come out and take a position on.
And help me, other than if you're a successful business person and you like the tax policy, what other policies that have come out of either of the Trump administrations that have benefited black folks.
But you like the tax policy at the expense of what?
Right.
As I
Healthcare.
always remember Mark Wade saying to me, I'm good, but I still got to worry and make sure that my family is good.
Right.
As a business owner, I'm good. And these policies probably would help a Mark Wade. But everybody in my family ain't me.
Right.
My mama, my sisters, everybody else has to, my grandson, everybody else has to be good. So I don't get to say because my company and I individually do well that I'm okay with my whole community getting a shaft. And the things that have benefited us, it's just a byproduct.
And thank you. Let's talk about, because that was the reason why so many black folks who did support Trump said it was the economy. Do you know that the unemployment of blacks have gone up?
And black women, 8.3%.
Yeah. So you know what it is for black men.
We have seen black wealth be eroded or black stability in family households. I talk about Prince George's County, wealthiest black county in the country. But many of those were federal employees, and many of those black folks have lost their job. So now friends are talking about the number of houses that are up for sale. We have fared horribly under this administration in terms of employment. How do you keep justifying this? That's why I'm looking at Tim Scott like, so these people go through with Doge and gut all of these agencies. You talk about closing down the Department of Public Education, but you want to come out about a caricature?
Well, I think that there are people out there who support other
What does your
parts.
shirt say?
Oh, read, think, resist.
Love it.
Yeah,
Jesus,
well,
love it. It's so apropos.
My what do I call it? My militancy haberdasher.
Oh no, I got mine because I was gonna wear my Black Panther shirt today. But
Okay.
I ordered
Which
all
one?
these shirts.
Like Seize the Power?
I got the logo.
Okay.
But yeah, I ordered all these shirts for Black History Month, and they
Yeah,
just started to come in.
I've been doing, but you know what? And then I'll get to the call. Rhonda got me a T-shirt that's a quote from George Orwell. Maybe we need to reread 1984.
Comes up often.
Maybe we need to, and I don't know, should I include that as my Black History Month, one of those books? But I think people should read, because what he talked about, now, originally when George Orwell wrote 1984, he was really talking about 1948. He had just, who knew that book would be so prescient in terms of describing what we're seeing. And the greatest example of what he talked.
On behalf of Debo.
Prescient?
Prescient. Did you want to elaborate on the meaning of
it is
prescient?
Forward thinking in the moment, but it's really something that's going to impact. Who would ever thought in this moment this would be something going down the road that would happen?
Look at that green field you see. Your mic don't work.
It don't even work.
We'll do it live, damn it.
It don't even work. Hey, give me 2 cans and a screen. What's going on, man?
Boy, stop worried about that microphone to preach your sermon. Carla, welcome to the program.
Take me up.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
3 times a lady. All right.
All right.
Next one.
Carla, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How y'all doing?
Good.
All right, how you doing?
Hey, just to follow up, did y'all see the ABC News broadcast Friday evening?
No.
Nope.
Okay, because I never saw Trump so comfortable in this interview. He was on Air Force One, and the reporter asked him about the memes that he did on Michelle and President Obama, and he looked just as comfortable. And he told her, I look at a lot of things, and I saw this, and I looked at it, and it looked real fine to me. So, basically he's saying he didn't have no problem with it.
Oh.
So I'm leading to that to say, And I think I've called your show before when he got elected. So how long before he called us the N-word publicly?
So
He don't have to. He already is.
But this is what's leading up to it. He's got to give his base something else. So he did the monkey thing with our president and our first lady
during Black History Month.
Yes, and I'm really pissed about it. And
what he
had claimed that he just
he saw himself being portrayed as the lion. The king.
That's like
or something he was saying. He said that he didn't see it all, so he just.
That's like back in the day when you had to go to the theater to see an X-rated movie, and you sit through all the previews and say, "But I didn't stay for the movies with all the sex that was in." So yeah, it wasn't the fact that you sit up here and all of a sudden you just gonna stop when he gets to Obama. As much as you hate Obama,
no, he said he told a reporter he saw it and it looked fine to him. He didn't say,
of course it did.
I only saw a
Freudian
portion
slip.
of it. Or this or that.
What's wrong with it?
But what I'm saying is, man, this guy is going off. Well, he's been off the rails, but now he's digging in deeper. And you know, we need to go to that Republican office there on 3rd and North and walk around with those pictures of Obama and Michelle and catch any black person going in there and say, "Hey."
I think you gotta, you can go after those folks, but we gotta vote.
Yeah, I understand that too. But locally, what can we do?
Vote.
I mean, yeah, we can vote, but man, we got to say something. Somebody needs to call something in the
vote.
streets,
We have a Supreme Court race that's happening on April the 7th. That I don't know if that's going to.
I vote in every election.
No, what I'm saying is, but it's something that you can do where it's something. I mean, we can go down and we can express it, but those folks got to know that what he did was some nonsense. They know that. I feel bad for Republican friends that I have who are still supporting this guy because they have to contort themselves in such a way in order to say, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. But, if this isn't one of those things, I don't know what straw is going to take to break the camel's back. If people want to protest the office, that's fine. But here's the other piece of it. They're paying rent.
They what?
They paying rent.
Yeah.
So that's part of our tax base. But no, so I think that we should focus on that. But I agree with you on this piece, though. You don't get a pass.
No, we can't give them a pass on this.
You don't give them a pass.
Because more stuff is coming, and this is ridiculous. So y'all take care.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, so I went back and I looked at what he said. He kept saying in relationship to the posting of the video. In this interview, he said that he thought it was about voter fraud and that he gave it to somebody else in the White House to look at before it got posted. And so they
and nobody from the White House came up to him. Let's just follow that.
Right.
Let's follow that straight.
Right.
Nobody came up and said, Mr. President, or as he likes to be referred to, sir, that this might be a problem.
Right.
Yeah, because he clearly said when they asked him, well, I didn't see the whole video. I thought the video, it was about voting. So I had posted it, but yeah, and then they asked him if he was going to apologize, and he said he didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah, and he said, this is what he said. He said they had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered it. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff on the Lion King, and certainly it was a very strong post in terms of voter fraud. Nobody knew that was at the end. So, like, you do be lying.
Can we talk about that song, "The Lion Sleeps Tonight"? That was stolen. A South African, a brother, wrote that song back in the 30s.
Yep.
And his family got ripped off because that song is worth millions because of the Lion King. Yeah. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, Steve.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. This is Angela?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Angela, how are you?
I'm doing well. So listen, I had told Michelle earlier, but I had met a gentleman Saturday at a workshop I went to at Where's Across. His name is George. He always calls in on your show. So I just, hey, George, when he'll be calling in, he'll know, because he knew me by my voice. He said, "What's your name?" I said, "Answer." He said, "You always calling in on WNOV?" I said, "Yep." He said, "That's how I knew who you was, because by my voice, I have a distinct voice, I know." But listen, let me say this about,
how does it feel to be a community celebrity?
Whatever, Keith. So listen, you know how they got them 3 letters, the KKK, and they wear hoods. ICE, ICE. They just like the KKK, except they got on masks.
Thank you for that, Angela. Has anybody seen the Kristi Noem commercial where she's trying to encourage people to join ICE? Yes, her recruit,
Really?
and she's on a horse, and she talks about how we pretty welcoming. Oh man, yes.
But it's just, and then another thing with the post about Michelle Obama and her husband with the monkey suits on, I don't even want that man's name to come up out my mouth, but when they didn't successfully kill him, which I feel like was a ploy anyway, but somebody really needs to, and I'm just calling it like I
don't call it like it is. I don't do that.
I'm not calling it like it is. I'm just saying, but it's just like, come on now, leave them alone. We black. We know we black. We know where we come from. You are the most racist white man in the city that I know of that's in the White House. I know it's been a lot more before him. But come on now, you doing a little bit too much. He really just, man, listen.
You referred to that, didn't you?
Dude is just like, oh.
All right.
I want to cuss so bad, but I'm not.
Yeah, we try to keep our license. Appreciate you.
But yeah, y'all have a good day.
All right. You don't want to make any threats either. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hey, Keith ain't gonna let me turn you down. And take you off speaker. I'm sorry, man. I had a man, so I had to answer the call. I kind of turned on the radio because you had me on hold for so long, and I wanted to hear what you were saying. And correct me if I'm wrong, but do I hear a different tone in your voice from Friday?
Yeah, but
or am I mistaken?
I don't think the tone is indicative on Friday or today. What I was thinking, how I was feeling. I hope it wasn't.
Because it sounds like you then crossed over to the other side now.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You sound like you're being a little bit more empathetic to me and Rhonda today. And I don't know if it triggered you by what she said.
Oh, no, I don't think I was. Then I apologize if you thought I wasn't being empathetic. That wasn't. I just asked what we're gonna do. That was the question.
You didn't say what we gonna do. You said what you said. You asked Rhonda what she gonna do, and you asked me what I'm gonna do.
I never asked Rhonda. I never asked Rhonda that.
You said that's what you said. What you gonna do?
No, I never said that to Rhonda.
Roll back the tape. Well, that's what you said to me. Okay,
yeah,
so
okay. I did say that to you. I didn't say it to Rhonda. Like I said, Rhonda, we were just having a conversation, and then she told me that, because that was after I talked to you. I think she shared that with me on Saturday, and it hurt. I sit up and I think about Kennedy right now. Kennedy might be the only Black person in her class out of Greenfield. So I worry about that. I worry about at some point some kid hearing something at home and then is going to come in and say something to her. Now, she's still kind of at that age where maybe not, but that's been the fear, and being the only person and then being brown skinned in class. And we're talking like, man, this would have been like in the 50s, 60s. That was a different time. So when she said that to me, it just, because it became just more personal because of what her experience was.
So when I went to, I think that's something we've been dealing with. When I went to first grade school, I went to, it's called Golden Meyer, I think now.
Okay, 4th Street?
Right, because we live right across, my grandparents did live right across the street from there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second grade school I remember going to was Keith Avenue.
Okay.
And I don't remember too many white kids going there.
Right.
But when we went to Green Bay Avenue, it was kids there,
Right.
white kids there. I think we were like the second black family in that neighborhood.
Okay.
So that's some stuff we had to grow up dealing with, the monkey and nigga and all that other kind of stuff. We had to deal with that. And so, you know, I'm on the phone, babe. My grandkids are kind of, and I know Michelle gets on us about having our kids go out to these white schools. And I kind of agree with Michelle a little bit, but the only thing I have a issue with, because when they go to our schools, I don't think they get the right education. Then they're dealing with a bunch of other stuff. So it's just like, what do you do? Where do you send your kids? Because it seems like you're caught up in this trap. Do I send them here or do I send them there? And what it does to me, Keith, it did the same thing that it did to Ron. It triggered me.
Okay.
And it makes you go back, and it's just like, it's 2026, and we still dealing with this ignorance in the United States of America. We still dealing with this ignorance and this racism and all this hatred that's in it, and it triggers you, and it does make you want to get violent, Keith. I can't speak for you. I only can speak for me, and it does make you want to get violent. It does make you want to hurt somebody, but you know you can't do that. And I don't know, I guess I'm lost at words for now, because I was trying to listen. I know I heard you say my name, but I was kind of distracted, and I couldn't hear what you were saying when I heard you mention my name, because I got distracted by this phone call. But I wanted to call Michelle show earlier today and just say, sister, you one bad sister. Is she still there?
I hear you, George.
You one bad sister, because how you deal with Mr. Winky, Mr. Meach, and I asked Keith, how does that not frustrate you day after day after day after day? And then when you throw the same stuff at him, it's like, well, you didn't say anything. I never heard you call, because I've only heard Meach over the last 3 years. And if anybody knows my voice, they know I've been calling over 20-something years. I've just been hearing his voice in the last, when Donald Trump started running in, about 16? That's when I started hearing him call in, because when I first started hearing him, he had this show with this, is he a pastor?
Ambassador,
in the afternoon.
Yep.
Ambassador Arthur Burks, my
I
former
just saw
classmate.
him.
And then when I heard he was supporting
George,
Donald
did you
Trump,
go to Parkman?
Keith, brother, you need to get yourself checked out. How many times you gonna ask me that question?
Okay,
maybe you done asked me that question like 20 times.
Maybe.
You know, I went to Parkman.
Okay, well, I'm good. The reason why
Call me on guard.
the reason why I asked you that question for the 15th time was Arthur Burks was at Parkman with us. That's why I want to know if you went to Parkman.
Keith, I don't remember you at Parkman.
Okay, but do you remember Arthur Burks at Parkman?
Nope.
Okay, well, Arthur Burks went to Parkman
Keith,
with us.
I'm gonna put it to you like this, Keith, and I probably shouldn't say this over there, but I smoked so much back in the day, I don't remember half the stuff.
You were smoking in junior high school?
No, man, I wasn't smoking in junior high
Okay,
school.
well, no, but Arthur
No.
Burks.
But I'm saying,
Arthur,
I got
Arthur
to be
president?
well.
Was he vice president? Bobby Weber, right? Yeah.
No,
the class?
well, I remember Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby Weber.
I remember Bobby. I would have to see his face, Keith. If I probably saw his
but
face.
Arthur was a Vanguard. He was a Parkland Vanguard. Yeah.
I was too. So I'm surprised I don't remember. If I probably saw his face, I probably remember Keith.
Well, that's who he was on with. All right, so you go back to me.
Keith, one of the things I always give you credit about, dude, Joe. Well, I shouldn't, because I just said.
You just said I don't remember, and you are
so much stuff that you remember, old addresses and telephone. I'll be like, dude, how you remember that stuff, man?
Yeah, ask me what I ate for dinner yesterday.
But this is so frustrating, and this dude lies about. It's just like, how can people trust him? Everything that comes out his mouth is a lie. And one of the things that I never hear anybody talking about, and then I'm gonna get off the phone, his mob dealings when he was in New York, when he was building them buildings and stuff.
Right.
He had to be involved with the mob back then.
And
why doesn't anybody ever talk about that?
Well, and then let's talk about that makes sense in terms of his connection to Jeffrey Epstein, because Jeffrey Epstein was a money launderer. There were a lot of people that put their money through him. They would launder money. That was part of, and then they said that then what he would do is he get you in a compromising position, and then he would use that for leverage against you. Now people are saying that he might have been killed.
He was
Well, it's a
killed.
conspiracy theory, but I think most of us believe
Minus
that.
the T.
Yeah.
He was killed.
Killed. It's Black History Month, sister. He was
Put
killed.
that- put that on white folks.
Keith, I'm one of them folks too, Keith. Keith, I do not believe it was a suicide. I truly believe that man got murdered.
He did get murdered.
He did get murdered.
He did.
The whole new information that actually came out about the camera position.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it wasn't in that
Yeah,
in
that
that
it wasn't in
corner.
that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
And if anybody knows their research, he had this attorney called Roy Cohen or something
That
like
was
that.
Trump's attorney, Roy Cohen.
Right.
Right. He was a mob attorney.
All right. But here's where Jeffrey Epstein is hooked up with. Who's the guy that's supporting J.D. Vance? What's the guy's name? Because he has a lot of dealings with Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, God, I can't think
I'll
of that
pull it
dude's
up.
name. Yeah. But yeah, man. See, it's always about the money, y'all. Racism is about the money. Slavery was about the money. And though there are obviously emotional, physical reactions, understand cash rules everything around me. Cream, come on, man. So when you sit up and just follow the dollars, because there's some dollars there,
And a lot of these people have been connected for years.
for
Keith,
years.
can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Peter
As you
Thiel.
said,
Peter
I kind
Thiel.
of caught the tail end when you said your Republican buddies. So how are they defending this guy? What did they say to you? I'm just
You know
curious.
what? I don't even put them on the spot. I don't, because I know they can't. All right, I got to take a break, man. All right.
And just real quick, Peter Thiel is the founder of PayPal.
I use PayPal.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we like so much of our money is used against us. It's asinine.
Oh man.
But yeah, he is the founder of PayPal. Yep, co-founder, I should say.
And he is JD Vance's. That's his patron.
That's right.
You're listening to Community Voice, Michelle. Thank you, dear.
Thank you, bro. Can we get out of here?
We'll be right back.
Parris.
And let me do this program alert. You know, from time to time, I have done. We've had this series called Faith, Justice, Politics. We do have a guest. And by the way, Rhonda wanted to let you know that Kennedy lives in Greenfield.
Oh,
She's a resident.
I used to live on 68th and Layton.
But she threw me all off. But I've done Faith, Justice, Politics. You know, I've had everybody from student minister William Muhammad. I've had Dr. Richard Shaw, various people come in, the late Dr. Trinette McCrae. I will have Dr. Eric Wallace. He's the author of the book. Let me pull it up here because I think it's important. This is a long title, but it's called The Heart of Apostasy, How the Black Church Abandoned Biblical Authority for Political for Politics. And it is, I would label him as a Black conservative. And so we'll have this conversation on Wednesday, 9:30, Faith, Justice, Politics. And again, my guest will be Dr. Eric Wallace. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. It should be very, very interesting. And I, when I talked to him, I said, man, I actually did, because he said, oh, you read the book? I'm like, yeah, that's one thing I do read. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Parris.
Good morning.
Thanks for taking my call. Assalamu alaikum to you all.
All right.
Yes, sir. Listening. How can I say this? Oh, right. When I hear our people say things like they don't understand the actions of the slave master's children, I think that they are still consumed by the illusion, or they are under the idea of the illusion of inclusion, because the most honorable Elijah Muhammad spoke to this, and in recent times, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has consistently repeated and reiterated what we are experiencing. He gave in a Savior's Day address, he told us that what we were going to experience with the peeling back of the onion and the unmasking of our oppressor, the oppressor himself will unmask himself, not so much as that we would have to unmask him. And looking at our history here, I mean, I'm floored and especially when I hear it from people that I know are older than me, because I'm sure you experienced a lot more blatant stuff than I did. When I was a youngster working at McDonald's, over on 76 in Edgerton, the manager asked me what was the hairstyle I had, and it was braids. And I said, man, you old. You didn't seen braids before. What are you talking about? You know? I mean, don't act like this is new. I was like, I think there's a white lady named Bo Derek. She had braids on her head, but I didn't have Bo Derek braids. So I just trying to make the point that I know you've seen braids before. So don't try to patronize me and make me feel odd because I'm expressing myself.
That would be a microaggression, right?
I would imagine that's what it is. I just told him, I know you've seen braids before. So, fall back. So our people are suffering the actual reality of what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been speaking about for as long as I've been alive, to my understanding. So when I see white people being who they naturally are, it doesn't surprise me. I'm not flabbergasted like, oh my God, it's 2026 and these people, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, a man that will not treat you right will not teach you right. And that's interchangeable. A man who will not teach you right will not treat you right, and he won't treat you right, so he surely can't teach you right. And because we don't want to collectively work together, because there's always the big I's and the little U's amongst our people, and we have been thoroughly and completely turned inside out, we don't even bother to consider or even attempt to conceptualize self-determination. These are slogans that the Black community speaks but has no intention upon executing at all. And I'll go with this. Our people here in America have been so broken and so overwhelmed with the idea that they can't do anything without the approval or the assistance of the Caucasians. And that's why we don't see ourselves as a nation of people. We consistently associate and put ourselves into everything that is America, and America don't give a damn about you at all.
Let me yesterday in children's church, the subject young, gifted, and black. Let me thank Michelle. Whose version did she play? She played Donny Hathaway's, right? Yeah, Nina Simone. I hear Lauryn Hill has a version of Young, Gifted, and Black. I know Aretha Franklin, I have her version of Young, Gifted, and Black. But yesterday, that was our thing, Young, Gifted, and Black. We talked about Mansa Musa, the richest man in the history of the world, Mansa Musa. And then we moved to Dr. Martin Luther King, obviously an American prophet. Then we went to Tupac and Trayvon Martin, talked about the genius. Both young men lost their lives tragically young. And then we talked about Katherine Johnson. Everybody's watched Hidden Figures, know Katherine Johnson, this incredible, brilliant mathematician, and what she was able to do in terms of NASA and how instrumental she was. And certainly John Glenn being able to get up and to do his little orbit and then to get back. And then I think she also then went on to work with IBM. So I wanted them to know. And then I asked the young people, what are your gifts, right? What are your gifts? Because you're young, they got that. But all of you are gifted. We all have these unique gifts. And to be able to, as the scriptures say, stir up the gift. What is your gifts? Use your gifts. God grants us gifts. And so baby, use it. So that's what we did in children's church yesterday. We talked about being young, gifted, and black. Caller, welcome to the program.
Here we go. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning.
And good morning, Mr. Rideout. Good morning, Mr. I almost said Carvey, man. Good morning there, man. Clark Kent. Good morning, Devo. Good morning, Milwaukee. Always good to hear from Brother Christopher. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Christopher. Tyrone W. speaking. Good morning, Milwaukee. First, I had a question for you, but I want to congratulate all the award recipients, but I guess Michelle got out of there before I could congratulate her. But Earl Ingram, I enjoyed calling his show when he was on the air. So congratulations, Earl, and all the other recipients. That's well deserved, whatever, the accomplishment of the award, determines. But the question that I had for you, and I'm going to make no secret about it, but I would still like to hear from him. And, I know he's knocking on doors and stuff like that, but county exec, I'm going to vote for you, but I'd still like to hear about what you're going to do as governor, though, so I can, I'm going to support you in that, but I need to hear more about what you're going to do as governor as opposed to county exec. So I'm going to vote for you. There's no secret about it. I'm telling you, I'm saying it now. I'm voting for David Crawley. So, write it wherever you want to write it, tattoo it or whatever. But, but anyway, crickets from his predecessor, or who he's going to be replacing, Tony Evers, there's crickets. I don't know why there hasn't been the summit about, Danita Ball and Mr. Norman about, this is what we're going to do. And this is my governor, I'm telling you, if ICE overextends their boundaries, as your governor, if they do that, he's got the right to call in the National Guard to have them escorted out of here. I want to know, if the meeting ever, or if it ever will take place between now and election time, because it seems like David Crawley will walk into that, and I'm pretty sure he will have to pull the same lever or switch to say, National Guard, the ICE is overextending their boundaries, and I need you to come escort them out of here. And I'm trying to get a better position on that, since there's just crickets coming from Madison and the governor's mansion there. I can hang up and listen, or if you want to go back and forth with me for a few, I ain't got all day, but come on with it then.
My understanding is that the county board has passed a resolution saying that ICE cannot operate in county parks.
What does that do for like downtown, or
ICE? Well, let's be clear on this. ICE has the right to go in and to enforce immigration laws.
Oh yeah, to a certain degree, yeah.
Right.
But I mean, if they step on the feet of the sheriff and like Donita Ball and them, and Jeff Norman, my police department, I mean, you're tying my sheriffs and my police hands.
Well,
As
I
the
think the other
as the
thing
governor,
was,
I've got to stand up and say something about that, and that's what I'm saying. There's just crickets, and more crickets. And I voted for Tony Evers, but I mean, come on now, we need to we need a question and answer session like yesterday, and there's still crickets. So I mean, come on with it.
okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Someone had called and they wanted us to mention this. Every year, the nation's governors convene in Washington, D.C. for a friendly winter confab that includes a working meeting at the White House and a black tie dinner hosted by the president. This year, Donald Trump is adjusting the guest list for the long bipartisan tradition. Democratic governors have been excluded from the business meeting, and two of those governors, Wes Moore of Maryland and Jared Parris of Colorado, were not invited to the dinner, according to a source familiar with the matter. We're disappointed in the administration's decision to make it a partisan occasion this year, Interim National Governors Association CEO Brandon Tatum said in a statement. He added, to disinvite individual governors to the White House session undermines an important opportunity for federal-state collaboration. The decision to exclude Democrats from the working session at the White House marks a break in tradition from presidents of both parties. With Wes Moore and Parris disinvited from the dinner, two Democratic officials said several governors were reevaluating whether they plan to attend. The Colorado and Maryland governors have been publicly tangled with and criticized Trump, but other Democrats who have openly quarreled with the administration, like Governor Gavin Newsom of California, Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, were extended invitations. Pritzker was not expecting to go to the White House anyway, his aide said, citing his ongoing clashes with Trump in the wake of immigration enforcement actions in his state this year. Parris and Moore were not informed of their exclusion or given a reason by the White House, two sources familiar with the matter said. A spokesperson for Parris called the exclusion a disappointing decision. Governor Parris has always been willing to work with anyone across the political spectrum who wants to help work on the hardest problems facing Colorado and America, regardless of party or who occupies the White House, his spokesperson Shelby Whiteman said in a statement. The White House and Democratic Governors Association did not immediately respond to CNN's request for comment. So the question is going to be which governors will not go. Democratic governors, I'm sure all the Republican governors are going to go. But whether or not, and I don't know if Tony Evers is there and whether or not he's going to go. But, we're not surprised. We're not surprised. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I wanted to just give a little story. I know that this whole thing with Trump and those pictures, but I want to give people the symbolism behind it and how far it goes back in terms of what I was able to learn. My stepfather was Augustus Ellaby. Before he died in the 80s, he used to always, whenever he drank a little bit, the first thing he would do is remember what happened to him in World War II when he was in Korea, but they went to Germany for their R&R, for their rest and relaxation. And the first time they got to Germany, whites had told the Germans that blacks grew tails after dark. And he said, the first night they're out, all the guys are walking around, looking at going to clubs and stuff. He said, but they noticed that when it got dark, the whites started staring at their butts, and people were just staring at them. And then somebody finally hipped him to it. Man, he was so dehumanized that this was in the 50s, but in the 80s, he still remembered it. And when he drank a little bit, the first thing he went off, man, he would never. It hurt him so bad that the people he was at war with, his fellow soldiers, would go and dehumanize them, the black soldiers, in that way, telling people that they grew tails after dark. So I want, like you were saying with your granddaughter, I want people to understand this is not an accident. This is especially during Black History Month, this is dehumanize black folks, because that's why we're changing all the history and everything. We don't want people to know they've had any contributions to the world and that they are just animals. Because he said it. You remember when he did the thing talking about all young black men will turn into criminals. They born to be criminals. He's been doing this for almost a year now, as he done most in his life. So I didn't take it lightly. I'm like George. If I had been somewhere where somebody had said something, I don't know what I would have did, because this is calculated to dehumanize black folks. And you're right. Those kids that now have learned this, they ain't never known none of that. Even our kids or even the white kids, because it wasn't something that was taught. But now he's teaching his racism to a whole nother generation of people, and it ain't accidental.
And I was watching, it was on, and let me say this, and I'm not equivocating here, but somehow I feel like sometimes this is connected. I was watching this movie, and these brothers were gunning on each other, right? And the one brother was talking about his car never start. They da 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 da. And then this brother said, "That's right, because every time you get out the car, the oil light comes on." I go, oh,
okay,
yeah, I mean, if you're a dark person, right?
Yeah,
a lot of times we have made darkness ugly.
Yeah,
we deride, we just make it ugly, and we we think it's harmless, right? We gunning and we could say these things, but we don't realize the damage that's being done, right? One of the things that and my guy Kevin Merida pointed this out in his book that he wrote on Clarence Thomas. Said Clarence Thomas don't have problems with white people. Clarence Thomas has problems with light-skinned black people. And the reason why he has problems with light-skinned black people is that when he was growing up, he used to have the nickname ABC. That was his nickname. You know what ABC stood for? America's Blackest Child. So already he's mad at black folks, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because in some ways, more directly, not the indirect impact that white folks have on our lives, the direct impact sometimes that we have on our lives. So when you hear Christopher calling in talking about the Willie Lynch syndrome, one of those dividing points in our beloved community is complexion.
Yes.
Complexion.
And you have to fight through it. I had to fight through it my whole life, even in my own family. Even in my own family.
Are you dark?
Because no.
Okay, so
but my brother is dark skinned, and so
right.
even in our own family, we had to learn of colorism, because some people came up in the 30s, 40s, and all through. They had certain preferences. So I had to eliminate it from my whole mind spirit. Even though I was called as many names as anybody else, I never took that
the way somebody calling me yellow, like there's a brother calling me Jiffy. I ain't tripping, because Jiffy's good.
Yeah,
but if you're dark and somebody says you black so and so, that hurts. And look, for all us near light bright, you might caught it. But there's nothing like, I didn't feel badly about myself because of my complexion. Yeah, I didn't feel badly. But I didn't either. My dark-skinned folks sometimes did, because, and that gets us back to, that's why when I think about the damage that sometimes we do, and that's what the Willie Lynch syndrome talks about. We can do self-inflicted harm, right? One of my favorite little people out there is pretty little Raven Johnson. Raven Johnson. I love me some Raven Johnson. But I just think that sometimes, especially during Black History Month, we need to be just a little bit more mindful.
I had to learn that a long time ago, because I remember when we lived on Walnut Street, I remember one day my buddy was very dark skinned, and we all hung out on 22nd and Walnut. Some guy was walking down the other side of the street. This was right after Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud came out. And he hollered across the street, what is that white MF doing in the neighborhood? And then I had took my hat off, and then all of a sudden he started hollering, sorry about that, bro. I thought you was, because I had to deal with that a lot of times. Remember in the parties, man, they come in, the slangers want to beat up everybody that was sitting out there. And man, you be up against the wall trying to hope they don't pick you out to whoop your butt because you was
but I
the
think that
lightning.
there is, and let me do this, T. I'm gonna pick this up. You want to hold on? I'm gonna pick this up to after the break. You're listening to Community Voice. The phone line's open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Keith Parris.
All right, welcome back. I don't know, is T still on? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, all right,
I'm
man.
still here.
All right.
Yeah, no, I think it was interesting because, one time, remember, I don't know if I told you the story that one time I was in a doctor's office. This guy walks up to me and said, "Hey, aren't you mulatto?" And I said, "No, I'm black." He just couldn't take it. He kept saying, "No, you're mulatto." I said, "No, I'm black." And so my state of mind in my blackness came since I was 18. But the people didn't sense. They sensed because I was, like they say, light, bright, and damn near white. They would almost be like, there ain't no way you could have that state of mind. And I said, no, I know this. In my family, me and my brothers, we all had different fathers. So each one of us has color. My mother, I had a color, and I didn't even see what my dad looked like till I was 39 because I had never seen him but once. And so you have to develop, but no, I will never put down who we are, what we look like, never, because I understood that from a kid, that I was what I was. I couldn't change it, but I had to be proud of the community that I was from.
Yeah,
before anything.
And that's why I you hear it's one of my little pet peeves. I'm just, and then this morning when I heard that joke, it just reminded me of, I rarely say this, the rightness of my position on this in terms of what we can do. We should not. It's like in sports, you don't help your opponent, right? You don't do things like self-check, unforced errors and things like that. So I think certainly during Black History Month, we need to. And look, I have a problem with using the term black. And what I mean by that is because race is a construct and we use black. Now, because we are 420 years removed from our indigenous roots, it's hard to say if I'm a Igbo or if I'm Fulani. There are right now 600 plus ethnicities under the Bantu nation, right? We're descendants of Bantu people. So that means we go everything, especially when he started doing that Bantu, what they call the Bantu sweep, where those people in that would be Western Central Africa began to move south. Because most of the people in South Africa, when you look at it, originally a lot of those people started there in Central Africa and then migrated down. But yeah, we are a diverse people.
Yeah, and as apartheid evolved, the first thing they did was separate the people by color. What they had 9 constructs of language and race just to divide them, and then each one had more rights than the other. Right. And so when we were there, we were going like, man, how can you change this? That was in '94 after apartheid ended.
But that's why they brought the Indians in.
Yeah, well, that's where Gandhi started, wasn't it?
Right, he was in South Africa because they would bring them in. They'd have that buffer between the indigenous African people, and then you bring in the Asian Indians. They would be educated shop owners. Have you ever seen the movie Mississippi Masala?
Yeah.
With Denzel Washington. Yeah. And these folks, they came from Uganda. And one of the things that Idi Amin did when he came to power was he kicked the Indians out with the British.
Yes.
Because you had that, and then they would have over in Rwanda, I'm trying to think of these 2 tribes that they had there. One tribe was a little bit lighter than the other tribe.
So the Tutsi and it was, I know what you're talking about. That's why they went to war, internal war.
Because so the lighter Africans ended up getting a little bit better education. They could get government jobs. They all Ugandans, right? So it has been, and even Michelle and I were having this conversation about Keisha Lance Bottoms is running for governor of Georgia. And people know she was the former mayor of Atlanta. She was the mayor of Atlanta when was the Marbury case happened. And we were talking about, and then Michelle brought up Stacey Abrams. And Stacey Abrams, first of all, I've had opportunity to have a conversation with her, interview her. That is a brilliant woman. She is off the chart brilliant, right? But even when she was running for governor, A lot of people believe that part of the margin of her loss were black males who didn't view her as attractive.
Yeah. Okay. You the same thing that happened with Kamala, right? The whole thing.
But you
played
know
black
what? So
males
much with
against
Kamala,
her.
I don't think it was. Yeah, there were people, but I think with how do I say this?
With the two she's married to?
No, I think it was that. There's some people just got issues with black women. Period. There's some
that's
brothers
true. Yeah,
that got issues
I
with
know
black women.
just-
I don't care what she looks like. They just
They
got
don't
issues.
want- yeah.
Right. But
Yeah, go
I'm
in the
saying
kitchen.
that
That's the
when
way
you
they
look
see
at Stacey Abrams, her beautiful complexion, she is African looking. Keisha Lance Bottoms, not so much. You know what I mean? If we look at those, especially those of us who are descendants of Central and West Africa, she doesn't. And if people don't think that visuals matter in politics, you're deceiving yourself. Right. Because most people are not going in to look at your policies. They're not doing deep dives into that. They're looking at you. I know one of the things I was hearing when Mandela Barnes was running, especially I would hear this from black women, some black women, they was like, I ain't feeling them. And I kept saying, you ain't voting for a boyfriend. You know, I mean, but if I would be naive to say that how a person looks, why do you think every politician trots out his family? Because people like the illusion of, he's a family guy and he loves his wife and he loves his kids, or she loves her husband and she loves her kids. And you're thinking like, wow, never a fight? They ain't never had an argument? Because anybody who's been married 20 minutes will tell you that's going to happen. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. So that whole thing about the image, we want it for our pastors, right? Where, we want our pastors to be married. So now when you see a shot of the pastor, it's a pastor, and there he is there with his wife, because that's the illusion. But that ain't our reality, right? Our families look like a whole lot of, you talk about your family. We used to joke, everybody in my family got their own daddy, right? I mean, our families are, but this whole, we look good and there's the little dog, but that's a myth, man. That ain't reality.
That's the leave it to beaver syndrome I used to call it.
Right. I mean, so people talk about Barack and Michelle. We don't know how Barack and Michelle be rocking when they ain't in public. She is from the south side of Chicago, though. Oh, man, I'm sure and then you ain't bad people. You just people, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's like, I remember she was being interviewed. They were being interviewed. They're doing a little fluff piece for them. And I think it was Barbara Walters. It might not have been Barbara Walters, but somebody, the interviewer, asked Barack, so what do you do to relax? And Barack said, I wash dishes. The look on Michelle's face was, Negro, you ain't washed a dish. I'm here with, you can just, she never said anything, but if you can read a black woman's face, it's like when Kamala Harris had that moment in the debate with Donald Trump, and she turned and said, this, every black person in America, we know that look. She didn't have to say it. She didn't have to finish it. We all finished it at home.
Yeah, I know. It's just that I think the depravity of it all, when I saw the images, was that, oh, you're so racist and white nationalist. You want to make sure your white children know that this is what we do. And then you want to make sure the black people that never heard it or seen it, they understand this is you. I mean, it's I think with what's his name, Stephen Miller as his chief security, white nationalist, Stephen Miller, Hegseth and all them, he got all the right people around him.
I wonder how Jewish people feel about him. In this family, like, aren't they Holocaust survivors? Isn't that somewhere in his family? He's Jewish.
I think it's in his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. I think there may be, but
Stephen Miller is Jewish.
Oh, but he's so racist that you wouldn't even know it.
I mean, you would, but I'm not going to pretend that I understand it. right? I mean, I just think that people do what they do. Look, human beings act in their self-interest. We're always acting in our self-interest. I don't care who you are. If you're out and you see that justice needs to be served, you know, you're acting in your best interest, right? You accept that to subscribe.
Same
to
way
that.
for people who think Donald Trump is their hero and they look like us. Look at Nicki Minaj. She done sold out, but she said he's a hero to her. And I guess no matter what
she
he
ain't had
did,
a hit in a while, so I can understand it.
well, she ain't gonna have one for a while either. So she's persona non grata to me. So I just, but I understand you. Once you get somebody that you think that he's the one, or he gonna do what you need for him to do, I guess you can follow anybody.
It takes a fool to learn. Appreciate you, man. I got no call. That love don't love nobody. It takes a fool.
Brother, you going?
I learned. All right, man. Appreciate you. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Hello.
That is 10 wins in a row. Ain't lost since November 26th. We are the champions. We are the champions. We are the champions. Are you still talking crazy about Sam Darnold or what? Is you still talking crazy about Sam Darnold or what?
You know, it says something when you're happy that the dude didn't throw an interception, but he wasn't even the MVP. They didn't know. They were probably going to give it to the kicker because he set a Super Bowl record for most. Did they score a touchdown on offense?
Yeah, we did.
No. Seattle. They had a pick six, didn't they?
Yeah, and fumble recovery.
Yeah, but they scored, right? So it was basically the defense.
Regardless of the point, man.
Well, you sit up here trying to make Sam Darnold all world.
I put up the point, but it's still Darnold got him there too as well. What do you mean?
He didn't turn.
Because Gino didn't do it.
Let me give him
Gino
credit.
didn't do it.
He didn't do what he normally do during the regular season, which was turn the ball over. Now I don't know how that makes you like you had a great game because you didn't turn the ball over.
Hey, that's a good game to me.
Okay.
Hey, because didn't they have turnovers, and that's what made the game for them lose the game? Turnovers, yes, they do. Turnovers do matter to me. Yes, they do.
When did it become apparent to you that there was no way that New England had any kind of offense? What, first quarter? Second quarter? When did it become apparent? Because it became apparent to me in the first quarter. Best defense in football.
Well, like I told you before, we just didn't win. This is 10 in a row, so don't act like it was just that team. 10 in a row.
What do you mean we?
Okay, good.
But don't act like it's just that team. It's not just you just screaming like it's the Patriots was the reason why we won.
It was.
We beat whoever was in the we beat whoever was in the way. How about that?
You beat okay. That statistically you are correct.
Thank you. Then what else can we talk about then?
You started off with Sam Darnold. Did anybody hear me mention Sam Darnold? Did I bring him up?
Because you don't like our quarterback and you don't like Seattle. That's another reason why.
Oh, you ain't never lied there. I was at the store yesterday, and the young lady, we were talking about the Super Bowl, and she said, well, who do you like? I said, I hate both of them. And then there was this guy in line. She said, oh, you don't like Seattle? I said, if you're a Green Bay Packer fan, you hate Seattle. You know, it's the Bears, and then it's Seattle, right? So,
that wasn't our fault, y'all. Didn't catch the ball back there.
Boy, I wonder would have been us if y'all would have lost.
It didn't happen, so we can't talk about it. It didn't happen.
So I know you paid your cell phone bill, so you get this call in today. I said I better call in. I said I better call in today because if I call in tomorrow, it ain't gonna feel the same.
I said, I'm gonna let him talk all that crazy. I'm gonna talk all the.
He ain't paid the cell phone, but he paid the cell phone bill yesterday. Oh yeah.
I get all your little politics out the way. I said I'm gonna hit them right before they get off the air.
Don't try to think. Don't try to drop the mic.
No, I wasn't trying to drop the mic because I know y'all let that phone ring and ring and ring and ring. You see that ear code, you be like, no, we're gonna let fam just go on through. Yeah, you be looking at that call ID.
I'm surprised. Where to get those 13 points? That's what I'm still trying to figure out. I fell asleep. I'm gonna be honest.
That's why they say every field goal counts. If you don't take them, you're gonna mess up.
Yeah, and let me say this: Seattle is not. They're certainly not the Falcons.
Oh no, we ain't gonna blow that lead.
No, they certainly
and,
not.
And they ain't been right ever since either.
You know, I just, like I said, it was obvious that they weren't going to be able to score, they being New England. And I guess they forgot that Stephon Diggs was on the team.
They threw to him one time.
Wow. I mean, you know, I'm just saying. Oh, man. Well, anyway, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks.
We'll see you next year.
Uh-huh. The journey didn't break Sam Darnold. It made him a Super Bowl champion. New York Times. Sam Darnold cements singular status among 2018 draft quarterbacks as Super Bowl champ. He was in the same draft as Lamar Jackson.
Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
Josh Allen.
Yeah. Okay.
Saquon Barkley.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Saquon got a ring last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the backwards jump.
I'm trying to get his stats, man. Boy.
Well, don't worry about it. It's gonna say Super Bowl ring on top.
Okay. Did he throw for 400 yards? Did he throw for 300 yards? All right. Well, appreciate it. I was waiting on the call. I'm glad you were able to get in. Before I get to this next caller, Jermaine is very happy.
Yeah.
Even though they signed the wrong damn Cam. And we was just talking about this dude on Friday. We was just talking about him on Friday, and so just in case you don't know, the Bucks have signed former Brooklyn Net Cam Thomas. Like I said, it was the wrong Cam. I wanted Cam Johnson, but, you know, he's not available. Okay. Statistically, Darnold was mediocre on Sunday. He completed 19 of 38 passes for 202 yards, 1 touchdown in the fourth quarter, 0 interceptions. He had a 74.7 rating. Yep. But he didn't throw an interception, which he's prone to do. So anyway, let me get this last caller. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey.
Let
me turn the radio down here.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to tell Tyrone they were doing the same thing in the Vietnam War. My uncle that passed away from effects of Agent Orange was saying the same thing, that they were telling the women over there that the black men had tails too.
Right.
So that's something that. So that's probably something that they always been doing, you know. And Keith, like I was saying, the reason why it triggered me, you know where Messmer High School is, that right?
Yeah, I know where the Bishop School is.
So we moved over there on my 8th birthday. My birthday is on August 28th. I was 8 years old. We were the second black family over there. Now, being 8, I didn't understand it at the time. But for a while, my parents wouldn't let us come out the house and play. And then when they did kind of let us out, we couldn't go any further than the backyard. And he told us when we got older, he said, because of white people over there was calling the house, calling niggas, get out the neighborhood and all this kind of stuff. And you know what they was going to do to us and all this kind of stuff. And so, you know, when you grow up in that era and stuff like that, and then the white kids calling you nigga and all that kind of stuff, it does trigger you. And the reason why I said that 2026, because you would think or you would hope that this kind of stuff wouldn't be going on. You would think that, yeah, I do understand the slave masters, but you would think even now that kind of stuff would be dying down. And that's the reason why I said it like that. But yeah, so I understand the part where the kind of stuff that it triggers. And do you remember? And I don't want to call it a poem, but I did on the site. If you're white, you're all right. If you're yellow, you mellow. You remember that? If you black, get back. Do you remember that?
Right. If you're brown, stick around.
Yeah. So you know, I think Tyrone said, and that was one of the things that I was happy about when it finally came out. Said I'm black and I'm proud because, you know, I don't like using the N-word. I don't think I've ever used it against another person, but I did call people black, and I'm ashamed of that because, like you said, when you call somebody black at the day, that was a fight. Right. And when I think about me calling another brother or sister black, I'm ashamed of that because didn't know any better. I know better now, but black is beautiful, and everybody tries to emulate us. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And thanks for letting me call back in.
All right. Hey, let me thank Michelle. Let me thank Clark, Debo, Jermaine, callers. We thank you. Good Lord willing, Creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.